Coming up on TCTV News, learn why 3 females were detained in Germany.
What a sorority on campus is doing to make a difference, and why kids are excited about chemistry. The news starts now.
Your only source for news and entertainment on campus.
Welcome to TCTV News. I'm Colin Vitale.
And I'm Taylor Runser. After 5 months overseas as a prisoner of North Korea, 56-year-old Jeffrey Edward Fowle, one of 3 Americans imprisoned, is finally home and is now in the arms of his loving family. Fowle was accused by North Korean officials for leaving a Bible on a table at a club for foreign sailors, which is a violation of the law. Government officials from North Korea told CNN reporters that Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, released Fowle on a special dispensation in hopes that the relationship between North Korea and the United States can thaw out. No word yet on Matthew Miller and Kenneth Bay, who are still imprisoned in North Korea.
While protests continue to rage in Ferguson, Missouri, the official autopsy for teenager Michael Brown says that he was shot 6 times by Officer Darren Wilson, including one from close range. Analysis of that shot is consistent with a struggle between the 2 in the officer's SUV. Legal analyst Danny Selvalos says that Officer Wilson will have to come up with the reason not only for firing the first 2 times, but a reason for every bullet that came out of his firearm. More protests are expected today across the country, from Sacramento, California to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Technology has surpassed many limits over the years, but coming up with a virtual autopsy of one of the world's greatest rulers is something to talk about. In an upcoming documentary on BBC, scientists have recreated the first life-size image of King Tutankhamun, better known as King Tut, using CT scans of the remains of the ruler. Scientists and researchers believe that King Tut had a severely deformed foot, which suggests that he had clubfoot, which makes a connection to the many walking sticks that were found in King Tut's tomb. The autopsy also suggested that he died of malaria. Tutankhamun, The Truth Uncovered, will air this Sunday on BBC.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced Tuesday that new guidelines have been released to promote protection for healthcare workers treating Ebola patients. After 2 Dallas nurses were infected while caring for the first diagnosed American, officials pushed hard for releasing the revised Ebola gear outlines. While earlier CDC guidelines allowed for some flexibility in dealing with suspected Ebola patients, the new guidelines set a firmer standard and rules for supervising the patients and equipment. The new guidelines are expected to be followed by every hospital encountering patients with this infectious disease.
Canadian officials blame terrorist ideology for a man killed in a city near Montreal. A man was shot and killed by police after he struck 2 Canadian military soldiers with his car. The suspect, 25-year-old Martin Couture-Rollet, was shot Monday by police following a car chase and later died. Public Safety Minister Stephen Blaney said that the attack is clearly linked to terrorist ideology. The officials confirmed that the suspect's name and discovered he was under the influence of radical Islam. The suspect was known to target the federal authorities, which the officials are concerned about being radicalized.
Oscar Pistorius, the famous double amputee Olympic runner, has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for the murder of his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. Judge Thokazile Masipa convicted Pistorius of culpable homicide last month, but acquitted him of murder charges after his testimony that claimed he thought Steenkamp was an intruder. Masipa cited that Pistorius shot Steenkamp multiple times through a toilet cubicle door in his home. His sentence begins immediately after leaving the South African courthouse. Legal experts said that he could be released after only 10 months in jail to serve the remainder under house arrest.
Christopher DeMargerie, the CEO of Total SA, a French multinational oil and gas company, was killed at a Moscow airport Monday when his private jet collided with a snowplow. The driver of the snowplow was drunk, according to Russian investigators. Investigators said Tuesday that they are questioning the snow driver, air traffic controllers, and witnesses. 63-year-old DeMargerie was one of the French business community's most outspoken and recognizable figures. The Total Secretary General announced that the group would continue on its current path, and board meeting would be held in coming days to name the company's next CEO.
Secretary of State John Kerry wants to thank Germany on behalf of U.S. national security after 3 Denver teenagers were detained in Frankfurt during the weekend for a possible attempt to join the ISIS fighters in Syria. Kerry said during a Berlin news conference, "We are very, very grateful for Germany for their cooperation with us on this particular incident of some young folks who were traveling. The travelers and their cause is still under investigation."
Saturday, October 18th, Chi Omega held their first Wish Bingo in the LHR. Chi Omega's philanthropy focuses on the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish grants wishes to children who are battling deadly diseases. Wishes include trips to Disney, meeting your favorite actor or singer, or even traveling to a country you've never been to before. The event was able to raise more than $800 for the foundation.
It may seem a little crazy, but just listen to what the Teal players had brought to the Robinson Theater. The theater held their first ever Madison Blitz on Saturday the 18th. A blitz is when the theater enthusiasts come together to compose an original play and perform it in only 24 hours. The night was instantly a success when the audience members found out the titles of the play's acts were spins on boy bands' names. The theater's next undertaking will be a production of An Enemy of the People by Arthur Miller this November.
This past Sunday, the Teal College chapter of the American Chemical Society held their annual Kids in Chemistry Day. Kaylee Jump, the president of the ACS, was assisted by advisors and other students for the day, where students from all majors were involved in many different types of experiments. Demos this year included rainbow fish, silly putty, slime, crushing hands, and mind games. Kids in Chemistry is an event that involves not only Teal students, but the Greenville community as well.
The Teal College Career Development Center is on the road again. Martin Black has made a number of different events available to Teal students to help them expand their career opportunities. Events include the IUP Accounting Fair, private interviews, Westpac Job Fair, and the Graduate Education Fair on campus. The Career Development Center is always open from 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Martin Black is also willing to meet individually with students at a later time if scheduled. Tomcats, keep an eye out for more Career Center events coming to campus. Students prepare for Halloween by attending the Chris Moon presentation sponsored by Teal Activities. Chris Moon is a psychic medium and paranormal researcher. Moon had wowed the students at the end by giving the group of students the opportunity to speak to spirits with the first ever spirit box. This box is known as the telephone to the dead. This is not the first paranormal researcher to come to campus. Last year, we hosted John Zaffis.
Our very own TV news broadcasting class students were invited to the Mega Media Factory in Erie, Pennsylvania to assist in the event sponsored by TriCaster last Monday. Students were able to get a feel for broadcast news work by doing hands-on work with the cameras as well as a TriCaster, which is a portable unit that allows the news to be shot and broadcast from virtually anywhere. There were demonstrations given by Panasonic as well as other media companies. Sierra Media Services sponsored this live webinar, which our very own Tyler, Trent, Marianne, Tanner, and Dr. Victor Evans attended. It's pretty gloomy outside. Will it get any better this week?
Colder weather could be just around the corner. Trent, what's in store for us?
Thanks, Colin. This weekend is absolutely phenomenal. Weather in the low 60s, and there's absolutely no rain on the radar. Perfect for Saturday night's game. I'll bring you the weather updates right after this.
In the meantime, stay tuned for your entertainment update with Trent as well. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Trent Kiesling, and welcome to TCTV Entertainment News. Fashion icon Oscar de la Renta died Monday, October 20th, at the age of 82. He passed away in his home in Kent, Connecticut, surrounded by his friends and family. A handwritten statement was signed by his daughter, Eliza Reed Bolam, and it did not say the cause of death, but de la Renta had spoken about cancer in the past. It was the past week that de la Renta decided to turn off treatment. It was not the quality of life he wanted. The fashion icon will be greatly missed, and his impact will always be remembered. Catherine Miles has written a book called Superstorm that takes you into the human drama that unfolded during Hurricane Sandy. She weaves the story of the hurricane hunters who fly into storms to collect data, and also the risks that sent one doomed ship directly into the path of Hurricane Sandy. The book expresses the losses that the superstorm caused and also the stories of the survivors. If no more storm threats are looming this year, that leaves plenty of time to read Miles' wise and harrowing Superstorm and to get prepared for the next disaster. The star of Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa Guidas, is petitioning to serve most of her federal prison sentence in a halfway house. Teresa was sentenced to 15 months in prison after pleading guilty to bankruptcy, fraud, and conspiracy. Her husband was sentenced to 41 months. Needless to say, the government opposes Teresa's request. Teresa was also requested to be housed at a prison camp facility in Virginia or a detention facility in Brooklyn. A lot of the requests have been made for Teresa herself, but no request of that sort for her husband. Comedians ranging from Jimmy Fallon to Jerry Seinfeld saluted the former Tonight Show host Jay Leno when he received the nation's top humor prize. Jimmy Fallon replaced Jay Leno when he stepped down from the show. Leno said, "The Tonight Show years were the best of my life." He continued to say that Fallon is bringing a new dynamic to the show, and it's fun to see a change. A celebration of his career will be broadcasted nationally on November 23rd on PBS television station. The royal couple has announced the birth month of their second child. The baby is said to be due in April. This is the first time that they have given a month of the royal birth. There is also a statement that the Duchess has recently had morning sickness, but is continuing to improve. The information on the baby's gender has not been given yet. The 2014 American Music Awards is only a month away. Pitbull, who is a multi-platinum selling rapper, will host the 2014 American Music Awards. The Music Awards will be live on November 23rd on ABC television station. Later that week, Pitbull will be performing during the halftime show on Thanksgiving Day when the Dallas Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles. This game will take place on the 27th of November in the Cowboys' state-of-the-art football stadium. Amber Rose and Wiz Khalifa might be divorcing, but that doesn't mean they stopped caring about each other. On Wednesday, the 27-year-old rapper tweeted to his estranged wife and mother of his 20-month-old son, Sebastian Bash Taylor, "Happy birthday, Amb," who turned 31 on Tuesday, responding to her ex warmingly, writing, "Thank you, sweetheart, still love you no matter what." Rose might still love Khalifa, but that doesn't mean that she's not upset with him about the circumstances surrounding their split. Shortly after the model mama filed divorce last month, she alluded to Khalifa's alleged infidelity on Twitter, writing, "I would never ever cheat on my husband in a million years. I think you guys know this. Unfortunately, now my ex-husband can't say the same." It's been 14 years since the estranged marriage of Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie ended on a Tuesday. The Bad News Bears actor finally bared all. In a recent appearance at Loyola Marymount University, Thornton faced a student panel where he answered one question about the marriage, where the couple wore vials of blood around their necks and were rumored to have a dungeon downstairs. "She thought it would be interesting and romantic if we took a razor blade and sliced our fingers and put them in lockets," said Thornton. "It was a crazy time." The Fargo actor is currently starring in The Judge, along with Robert Downey Jr., which is in theaters now. Michael Strahan showed he is ready for his film debut in Magic Mike after posing for an Instagram picture alongside co-star Channing Tatum. The former New York Giant posed with the 22 Jump Street sensation, showing off his newly trimmed physique. The photo was taken on set in Georgia, where Strahan appears with returning favorites such as Matt Bomer and Joe Manganiello, and even newcomers like Donald Glover, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Amber Heard. The highly anticipated sequel is scheduled to release in July of 2015. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's TCTV Entertainment. I'm Trent Kiesling. We'll be heading over to Tyler Buffington with the sports right after the break.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Colin Vitale, filling in for Tyler. Now let's talk TCTV Sports. Peyton Manning has sealed a spot in the NFL Hall of Fame as the quarterback with the most touchdown passes in history. Manning went into the Broncos' Sunday night showdown against the 49ers just 2 passes short of Brett Favre's previous record of 508 touchdown passes. He finished with 4 touchdown passes, going 26 for 28 for 318 yards in only the first 3 quarters of the game. After the game, teammates had a little fun with Manning by playing keep away with his record-breaking ball. The quarterback got to spend a little time with it before it came to rest at its final place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, a little less cheery news. The NHL has indefinitely suspended the Los Angeles Kings defenseman Slava Voinov due to domestic violence charges. The league states he was arrested Monday morning but hasn't provided any further details. Voinov will still be paid during the investigation. The NHL's collective bargaining agreement allows it to suspend players during a criminal investigation, quote, where the failure to suspend a player during this period would create a substantial risk of material harm to legitimate interests and/or reputations of the league, end quote. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman said that he is confident in the league's policy's effectiveness. Now over to the MLB, the popular song Royals by New Zealand artist Lorde is getting caught up in World Series fever in light of the upcoming competition between the San Francisco Giants and the Kansas City Royals. Two San Francisco radio stations say they won't play the song during the entirety of the World Series. Meanwhile, a Kansas City, Missouri station responded with plans to play the song every hour on the hour, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the first day of the World Series. Lorde has told VH1 that a photo of Kansas City Royals Hall of Famer George Brett signing autographs had given her the inspiration to write the song Royals after she saw the word on Brett's uniform. Percy Harvin was traded from the Seahawks to the New York Jets this past weekend in what was a blockbuster trade and a surprise to everyone around the league. The defending Super Bowl champs had no use for Harvin, giving him away for a conditional 6th-round draft pick. This trade was a shock to most of Harvin's former teammates and did not go over lightly with most of the team. Harvin was reportedly too much of a distraction for the team, and head coach Pete Carroll asked management to move him. It was also reported that Harvin gave Golden Tate a black eye before the Super Bowl and cut Doug Baldwin's chin during the preseason. He's just a time bomb, a source close to the Seahawks said. We'll be better off without him. Madison Bumgarner will start for the Giants, and James Shield will start for the Royals, pitching in Game 1 of the World Series starting Tuesday night. This is a battle of two teams who had to win the one-game playoff to start the postseason. Bumgarner was named the NL Championship Series MVP, and he's ready to go at it full strength. He has been one of the best pitchers in the playoffs, not losing a game thus far. James Shield has struggled in the playoffs, not going over 6 innings in any of his starts. He will need to bounce back if the Royals want to have a chance at winning Game 1 in the series. On a side note, this has been the first time the Royals have visited the World Series since 1985, which is the last time they won it as well. These two exciting teams should make for a great World Series. The Teal College women's volleyball team is 10-15 so far this season. Let's see how the rest of their season is looking.
Hi, we're here with Kelly Barzak, the new volleyball coach for the women's team. I understand that you played here before for us, and what interested you in coaching?
I've loved volleyball my entire life, so being able to do something that I love was really important to me. And then also coming back to my alma mater is, the best situation. So I'm really excited to come back and be able to coach some of the girls that I've played with and things like that.
So that's really interesting, playing with the old teammates.
Yeah, it is interesting, but at the same time, it's really good because I already know how to motivate them and what they need and what they want and what they need to improve on and things like that. So that was easy coming in, and then also them respecting me as a player was an easy transition to become a coach as well.
So where do you see the season going? How are you guys doing so far?
We were in 8th place a week ago. We won a game and then won another game, and we're up to 5th. So that's very exciting for us to take the top 6 to the tournament. So we're in 5th, and we've beaten 2 of the teams that are ahead of us, Westminster and Geneva. They're in 4th and 3rd. We play the number 1 team tonight, which is Bethany. So we look forward to seeing if we can snatch another win tonight.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time. I'm Linnea Jackson, and back to you.
Good to see the women's team making progress. Now, the International Olympic Committee is searching for new hosts for the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. New changes are being added to make hosting the Games more appealing and less expensive. Potential bidders for host cities are waiting to see what new requirements are set in place before submitting their votes. Votes will be cast next year, and the host city will be chosen in 2017. Some of the potential bidders are returning host USA, Paris, France, Rome, Italy, Munich, Germany, and Dubai. Russia is making moves early while building in a new arena for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Early in the year, Brazil held the 2014 World Cup and barely got it finished in time for the games to begin. Chris Unger, FIFA's top official overseeing Russian preparations, says that things are different, and he says that plans ahead are on schedule, which is good because the sooner they finish, the sooner we can begin testing at Luzhniki Stadium. The stadium will host the 2018 Cup. Dale Earnhardt Jr. sneaks through the NASCAR Championship to earn his way to the Talladega Speedway race. A broken shifter dropped Earnhardt down to 12th place in Charlotte Speedway. He will need a victory in Talladega to advance to the third round of the chase for the Sprint Cup Championship. Earnhardt's teammates on the Hendrick Motorsports team, Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski, are all on the brinks of elimination from the chase. They are all three ranked in the bottom of the standings. And thanks for tuning in to this edition of TCTV Sports. After the break, we'll have a look at what the weather is going to do for the rest of the week. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Trent Kiesling, filling in for Ronell Hunt today. Here's your weather. So, the national average for the temperatures this week, we have, as you can see, 77 in Texas, 63 in Kansas, right up here, and 53 in Chicago, and only 49 in Youngstown. Moving right along here, for our hometown temperatures, we have 47 for Columbiana, 48 for Austintown, we have 46 for Newton Falls, and right around 46 for Mercer County. For the wind, Youngstown at the north and northwest, 15 miles an hour. For Franklin, coming in at north-northwest at only 3 miles an hour. And Newcastle coming in from the north at only 14 miles an hour. For the humidity, it's 77 in Youngstown, a little high, 81 in Franklin, 82 in Meadville, and 80% humidity in Newcastle. Now for your 7-day forecast here for the week, 52 degrees, 56 degrees for Thursday, 58 in Friday. For the weekend, it's the low 60s, just like I said before, perfect for tonight or for Saturday night's game, going into the low 40s throughout the 6-day forecast. Coming into Monday morning, it's 70 degrees, and Tuesday it's 72 degrees, warming up just a little bit, and for Monday night at 50 degrees. And that is your 7-day forecast and your weather update for TCTV News. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Trent. Everyone always imagines living to see their 100th birthday. I know I do. And for Madeline Scotto, she actually got to see it. Madeline is not your average 100-year-old either. She is a working woman at a local Brooklyn elementary school where she teaches math 3 days a week. She has been teaching for 60 years at the same school she attended as a child. The only difference was when she attended, she was the school's first graduating class.
Madeline has lived in Brooklyn her whole life, raising her 5 children there. She's a grandmother to 9 grandchildren and a great-grandmother to 16. When asked if she would ever retire, she stated, "Oh, that's a bad word. I don't ever want to hear that word." Madeline is passionate about teaching and never plans to give that up. Thanks for watching TCTV News. I'm Taylor Runser.
And I'm Colin Vitale. Stay classy, Tomcats.
You've been watching TCTV News, your only source for news and entertainment on campus.